I hope everyone is doing well. In today's video, we'll be going through cylinders. Have a pen and paper ready so you can take down some notes. Make sure to stick around to the end as there are some questions for you to attempt. And if you want to find your way back to the channel, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with everything related to your Maths GCSE. Let's get started. So what is a cylinder? A cylinder is a prism with a circular top and bottom. This is what a cylinder looks like. As we are dealing with circles at the top and bottom, there is some information regarding circles that we need to know before we can answer questions related to cylinders. This line here indicates a radius. A radius is a straight line from the center to the circumference of a circle. This line at the bottom indicates a diameter, and the diameter is the distance from one point on a circle through the center to another point on the circle. What you need to understand is that the radius is half of the diameter. So for example, if the diameter was 10 centimeters, the radius will be half of that, which would be 5 centimeters. So you need to remember that the radius is half of the diameter. Also, we need to know how to work out the area of a circle. The area of a circle is pi times r squared. Now the value of pi you can find on your calculator, and you will times it by the radius squared. Something else that we need to know is the circumference of a circle. Now the circumference is the perimeter of a circle. So the perimeter is the distance around a shape. So the circumference is 2 times pi times r. So again, we need the radius. With all of this information, the radius, diameter, area of a circle and circumference, we should be able to work out the volume and also the surface area of cylinders. So first of all, we want to work out the volume of a cylinder. So a cylinder is just a circular prism. And we know that the volume of a prism is the area of the cross-section times depth. You can refer back to my video on volume for a better understanding of this. Here we have a cylinder. The cross-section is this area at the top. And to work out the area of a circle, it is pi times r squared. And then you times it by the depth. In this example, you will times it by h. So the volume of the cylinder is pi times r squared times h. So find the volume of the cylinder below. We have this height of 6 centimeters and we have a radius of 2 centimeters. What you would do is you would do pi times r squared times h. So you replace this r with the value of 2 and you replace the height with the value of 6. What you would do, you'll put this into your calculator. So you write pi times 2 squared times 6. What you would get is a final answer of 75.4 centimeters cubed to one decimal place. What you should understand from one of the previous videos is that volume is measured in millimeters cubed, centimeters cubed, or meters cubed. So remember to use the correct units. We have some more examples for us to go through. So calculate the volume of the cylinders. We know that the volume of a cylinder is pi times r squared times h. So we have 20 centimeters as the height and the radius is 12. So what you would do, you'll put this into your calculator. You'll do pi times 12 squared times 20. You'll get an answer of 9047.8 centimeters cubed. So remember to use the correct units to one decimal place. This is another example. We have 12 centimeters and we have 8 centimeters. What you need to understand is that this is the diameter, but we don't want to use the diameter, we need the radius. What you should know is that the radius is always half of the diameter. So if the diameter is 8 centimeters, the radius will be 4 centimeters. So what we will do, we'll do pi times 4 squared times 12. So pi times 4 squared times 12 is equal to 603.2 centimeters cubed to one decimal place. The next thing which we will look at is the surface area of a cylinder. Now the surface area of a 3D shape is the total area of all the faces. Please refer back to one of my previous videos on surface area to get a better understanding of this topic. We have a cylinder. It's clear that the ends of a cylinder are circular. So we want to work out the area of the top circle and the bottom circle. What we should remember for one of the first slides is to work out the area of a circle. It is pi times r squared. So pi r squared. The next thing that you need to understand is that this middle section, if you flatten it, it becomes a rectangle. So we need to work out the area of this rectangle. What you need to understand is that this circumference of a circle is equal to this length of the rectangle. So the circumference of the circle is equal to the length of the rectangle. We know how to work out the circumference of a circle. It is 2 times pi times r. Then we will times it by this length. Now this length will be this height. So to work out the area of this rectangle, it will be 2 times pi times r times by h. So 2 pi r times h. Now that we have the area of all three of these, we can work out the surface area. There is a formula which you can use, which is 2 pi rh plus 2 times pi times r squared. So this 2 pi rh is the area of this rectangle, and this pi r squared is for this circle. And as we have two circles, you'll times it by 2. So the formula is 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared. All you basically need to know is the value of r and the value of h, and you can work out the surface area of a cylinder. So it's not too difficult. Let's go through some examples of surface area. We know that the formula is 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared. So all we need to know is the value of r and the value of h, and we can work out the surface area of a cylinder. Here we have a height of 10 centimeters and a radius of 4 centimeters. The first bit of information we work out is 2 pi rh. So what you would do is 2 times pi times r, which is 4 centimeters, times by the height, which is 10 centimeters. Once you put this into your calculator, you will get 4 times 10, which equals 40, 40 times 2, which equals 80, 80 times pi equals 80 pi. What I would suggest is leave this as it is for now and don't simplify until you get to your final answer. The next bit of information that we need is 2 pi r squared. So again, what you would do is you do 2 times pi times r, which is 4 squared. So it will be 2 times pi times 16. 16 times 2 is 32, so it will be 32 pi. What you need to do is add these two values. So put 80 pi plus 32 pi into your calculator. What you would get is 112 pi, which equals to 351.86 centimeters squared. Remember that surface area, the units are millimeters squared, centimeters squared, or meters squared. For this example, we have a height of 12 centimeters and we have a diameter of 10 centimeters. The first thing that you need to understand is that the diameter is double the radius. So we need the radius, which will equal half of that, which is equal to 5 centimeters. Again, what we need to work out is 2 pi rh. So it's 2 times pi times 5, which is the radius, times by the height, which is 12. What you would get is 120 pi. The next bit of information is 2 pi r squared, which is 2 times pi times 5 squared, which equals 25. What you would get from this is 50 pi. Once you put this into your calculator, you would do 120 pi plus 50 pi, which equals 170 pi, which is equal to 534.07 centimeters squared to 1 decimal place. Remember, when you are working out surface area, to use the correct units. Here is a question for you to do. Please pause the video, have a go, and we'll go through the answers on the next slide. Hopefully you had a chance to go through the question. Let's go through the answer. So work out the volume and surface area for this cylinder. What you need to understand first of all is that we have the diameter. So let's work out the radius. The radius will be half of that. So the radius is 5 centimeters. To work out the volume, we know that the formula is pi r squared times by the height. So it's pi times 5 squared times 10, which gives an answer of 250 pi, which is equal to 785.4 centimeters cubed. Remember, when you're working in volume, you use cubed, and this answer is to 1 decimal place. For the surface area, we will do 2 pi times 5 times 10, which equals 100 pi. Then you would work out the two circles, which is 2 pi times 5 squared, which equals 50 pi. You add these two values together, so it's 100 pi plus 50 pi, which equals 150 pi, which is equal to 471.24 centimeters squared to 1 decimal place. Again, remember to use the correct units. So here is a summary page of what we have gone through today. We have gone through what a cylinder is. We have gone through how to work out the area of a circle, how to work out the circumference of a circle, how to work out the volume of a prism. We have been given a formula to work out the volume of a cylinder. We also have a formula for the surface area of a cylinder. I hope you have been able to benefit, and if you have, please share with others so they can also benefit. Hopefully I'll see everyone safe and sound for the next one, and as always, take care of yourselves.